What makes a house a home? Over 8 weeks, 21 homes bursting with style and character are competing to be crowned Home of the Year. Each week, 3 homeowners open their doors to our expert judges who will decide which one goes through to the final. Design legend Hugh Wallace has a lifetime's experience in high-end design.
What I'm looking for in this competition is the homeowner's personality, because that's what makes the home.
I think this person has a real sense of humour when you look around and see their bits and pieces.
Award-winning interior designer Deirdre Whelan knows what makes a house a home.
Homeliness is when you walk into a home and you get that feeling of welcoming.
It's taken my breath away, I have to say.
Acclaimed architect Declan O'Donnell is passionate about clever design.
Size really doesn't matter in this competition. It's all about using the spaces you have and making them work for your own lifestyle.
The staircase is actually a really clever little piece of design, and it's really visually quite light.
Looking for functionality, individuality, and clever design, tonight the judges will visit 3 more unique homes, scoring each of them out of 10. The home with the highest score will go through to the final at the end of the series. But there can only be one winner. This is Home of the Year. Fashion designer and restaurateur Ivan McNamara always dreamt of making a home in the heart of Galway city for herself and her son Oni. 2 years ago, she took on an unusual conversion project.
So yeah, I found this incredible property, and I suppose the historic preservation of this building is very important to me. It was an original carpenter's workshop, and it was looking incredibly messy. Really, you were dealing with a site apart from the roof, which was retained. A lot of work. So yeah, I mean, I was so thrilled, you know, to have the space in which to do the things I wanted to do. Oni has a lot of space. He can cycle around, he can swing and skateboard, and so he loves that. My business partner can come in, we can work in the workshop, we can have business meetings here, but ultimately, it's my home. Isn't that amazing? The style of my home right now is Nordic-industrial. I'm really into Salvaged, and I'm really into old things. They have their own stories, and they're bringing those stories here. My architect says it's all 50 shades of grey with me. I don't know why. Grey, but different greys. So this is my favourite spot. It's a lovely place to unwind, cuddle with Oni at the end of the night and do some reading and enjoy the room. It's a very beautiful living experience, and it certainly makes me very happy.
The judges must now assess the home, armed with only the basic facts about the property and its owner.
This looks really exciting. I'm guessing it's a converted workshop.
It's all about happiness, and I'm looking forward to seeing that inside.
Look at this.
Gosh. Oh my goodness, that's volume for you now.
Just a very, very simply laid out room, very simple materials, great volumes, texture everywhere. You must love this.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I love it. I love the fact that you have those trusses in the roof exposed. They're raw and rough. You know, it's very much in keeping with a workshop.
Absolutely, and the polished concrete floor. There's kind of an edginess, but there's a real homely feel to the whole place as well. And I really like these. They're brilliant.
Come on, Deirdre, off you go. You can do it.
Oh, yes, but not today.
Come on.
I think the owner has real empathy with the history of this building, and that's wonderful to see.
This is a great functional kitchen, isn't it? The concrete worktop is a super finish, just very practical, very hard wearing. There's lots of character here, isn't there?
I just love the contrast of this wall, which looks like a factory wall with that door, and yet at the other end, we have a timber partition, which looks like a wall in a thatched cottage.
The materials used reinforces what they're trying to do, which is to preserve the character and feel of a workshop, but the owner has the flair to be able to make that work in this space.
There's definitely someone from the creative industry living in this house. Look at that, you've got a hide on one seat and then you've got a colourful woven textured cushion on the other. Fantastic scaffolding. There's a kind of an industrial look here. Their favourite spot? I can see why. You get a full view of the room, south-facing light coming in. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, you have the best of everything when you sit here in the space, and they play with their Lego here, so really cool.
Again, you can just see the attention to detail that's in everything. And what I love about it is less is more. However, I'd love to have seen a rug or a kiln here and a big chair just to soften the space.
No, I disagree, Hugh. I think there's a child living in this home as well. And I think they use this as their playground.
I love the design of this, like a mobile industrial staircase.
This is the room for the little person.
Wouldn't you love to be a child again, to live in this little wonderland?
The kids' bedroom upstairs was just a really clever little piece of design. They managed to wedge it in there into the roof space.
Seem to have a thing for reindeers.
Yeah.
I love when you go into a home and you get a sense of the person who lives there, and you really get that in this home. All the way through, from room to room, you got a sense that they really know who they are and what they're about.
Just a really nice master bedroom. Same floor finish, same style as the rest of the house. You know, there's very little on the walls everywhere, but they're very careful about what they put in.
And the fact that the wardrobe is left exposed brings colour into this room.
Yeah.
It's all very understated, but very well judged.
Stylish.
Yes.
And look at this, a Bakelite handle. It's about design, detail, it's about salvaging. And it comes through into this bathroom.
Yeah, I think it's the salvage that makes it so interesting in this home. You had that big sink, and the same with the taps. They found these pieces and brought them into their home, made it their own. There's a real personality, and they had a bit of fun with it as well.
Even down to this lovely little coat hook, which they're using for towels. This home shows what you can do in a budget by using creativity, getting the style right, being consistent.
There is a consistency, and it is fun that they've pulled things
Yes.
together.
With passion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we thought from walking around that there was a creative person living here, and this is obviously their workshop or their studio, and it's just amazing.
Just perfect.
Fantastic.
I love that this place has been brought back to life as a home, and yet it hasn't forgotten about its history and is still used as a working building. They just have something that really works for them.
Now it's time for the judges to individually mark the home out of 10. One judge's score will be held back until all 3 homes have been seen, when all of the scores will be revealed.
There's a consistency in the design style which has been inspired by the architectural heritage of the building, and an amazing attention to detail. I love the owner's creativity in this great family home. I give it a 9.
This home is a lesson in creativity and working with what you have. If you take on a building like this, you have to react to it. And the simplicity in how they've arranged the key spaces to fit in here show me the skill and design sense of the owner. I'm giving it a 9.
What a truly unique home, filled with warmth and character. A simple colour palette mixed with great textures makes this a very special home.
Anya and Flor Prendergast live in an old cottage in North Dublin with their son Fionn. When they bought the home, its potential was obvious, but they had to wait 6 years before they could afford to more than double its footprint.
We wanted to keep the front of the cottage looking like what it was before. And then when you walked into the house, there was a nice surprise at the back. We put a couple of internal courtyards into the house as well.
We specifically wanted a lot of light in the house, and I think we've achieved that with the roof box and with the large sliding doors.
This is our favourite spot of the house. We tend to spend a lot of our time here in the evenings, the weekend. We've a great view of the garden, and when we have friends over, this is where we hang out. When we moved in first, one of the things I wanted was to have a man cave where I have my record player and listen to music, read the paper. I don't do a whole lot of that now since Fiona's born, so it's taken up changing nappies now and stuff.
Fionn's room has that courtyard off it, so when he's a little bit older, he can play safely. I can always watch him from the kitchen. He'll have his own bathroom.
He's the best room in the house. Obviously, when we moved into the house first, we couldn't afford to put an extension on. So we've collected stuff over the years. And when the house was finished, we could fill it with stuff that we love.
We love the stuff that nobody else wants.
When we were looking in 2006, this is actually the first house we saw.
We did let our hearts rule, but we're delighted that we did.
It's amazing to think that when this cottage was built, it was all green fields around it.
Oh my goodness, wow. Double height space, but actually still quite dark.
Yeah.
They've gone for quite a dark floor, and then they've got quite a dark sofa as well. So I think that absorbs a lot of the light. Light is really important. The more natural daylight you get into your home, the better you'll feel.
The person who owns this house has a real eye for very good furniture in terms of a pedigree. The challenge here is the colour scheme. And I think a different colour on the walls and a different floor finish would have just made these pieces stand out.
In saying that though, there is an atmosphere here when you come in, which is I think very 60s. I think that's kind of what they're going for.
I think what they actually need is a shag pile rug.
Exactly. Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I
What a
was,
gorgeous surprise.
I was not expecting that.
Lightness compared with the front room.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
fantastic.
like yin and yang.
And this isn't just a hallway, it's somewhere to sit. I love it.
More.
Another courtyard. Yeah, I'm really impressed. And it just goes to show a small courtyard, even if it's tiny. Look at what it does.
It makes it very interesting as you travel through the house.
Yeah, and the house is actually zigzagging as you go, and it allows these little pools of natural light to come in. What that means is you don't have a long, dark corridor that connects the front to the back. And look how good it is.
The thing with a narrow plot is that it's really difficult to get natural light into the spaces when you extend. It's a common design problem actually, and this house is the answer.
My word.
Look at that view in the middle of suburbia.
Yeah, you would have no idea from the front that this is what you had at the back.
Absolutely not.
I mean, no idea.
no.
And you can even see back through the courtyard into other areas of the house as well, so it's really cleverly put together.
I like the palette of materials that are in the room. They're very easy on the eye. The natural woods, beautiful parquet flooring, the soft grey on the couch, and then the little pops of colour.
It's a complete contrast to the front room. I think it's worth mentioning the huge roof light that they've put in here because it's lovely.
Yeah, I just wondered though, at night time, would that read like a big black hole?
Hold on, you're lying on your couch
I'm
and
lying.
you're looking up at the moon and the stars. I mean, it'd be just perfect.
If there were moon and stars out there to be seen.
Of course there's moon and stars. I have no idea what Deirdre was going on about, because in Ireland we have such strong moonlight on those dark evenings. It'll be fantastic. Here we have their favourite spot with this amazing view of the garden. You're right in the kitchen and you're all part of one space. But for me, the kitchen lets it down. I think that I've been slightly shortchanged. I think the timber here is flat. Those tiles are flat. The kitchen for me is just that little bit out of context when you look at the rest of that extension, because it's so perfectly designed.
What's actually really interesting looking back at the house now is that it's in complete contrast to what we've seen at the front, with a red brick period property at the front. And here, it's all about simplicity. The architecture is clean, it's modern. It's like two different houses.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Really well done.
Oh, nice bright room with a view out onto the garden. Very simple, very crisp.
Really nice bedroom.
And the fireplace.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, isn't it, to have
Yeah.
a fireplace in your bedroom?
Yeah, very cozy.
It's a really bright bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually the soft green works really well with the timber flooring.
You've got that frameless window
Yeah.
and the glass on the roof, so you've got all that natural light coming in.
What's really lovely actually is from here you can appreciate the old while standing in the new.
The extension and courtyards really impressed me. The owners have a lovely collection of furniture, and I really liked the use of colour in the open plan living area. However, for me, the design continuity in this home isn't carried through into the front room. But overall, a great home. I'm giving it a 7.
What I love about this home is that it actually plays a bit of a game with you. On the outside, you think it's going to be a small cottage, and it's anything but. With a narrow plot, the challenge is to create open and inviting spaces with loads of natural light. And with the internal courtyards, they just really nailed that. I'm giving it an 8.
The extension is an exceptional piece of design. The interior design is simple, the colour palette is neutral, and there's that fantastic parquet floor. The one area for me that slightly lets this house down is the kitchen. However, this is a great family home with a terrific garden.
When Paul Lynham decided to reimagine his riverside end of terrace home in Limerick City, he undertook an ambitious renovation project.
Building the house was actually joyous. So it was a partnership between the architect, myself, and the builders. I had to more or less gut it. Some of it, the design actually emerged as we were building. For instance, the big circular window. Living on my own, I didn't want to have empty spaces. In fact, there was 3 small bedrooms upstairs, and I took one of them out. So every room in the house I use, and that's lovely. My style is very pared back, and that wouldn't suit a lot of people. A lot of it is built around Japanese aesthetic. The whole idea, if you can stick to it, if you can get one beautiful thing and present it properly, the eye will be drawn to it, and you can get great joy from it. And the amazing thing about the house is that wherever you are, you can see outside. And I have this Japanese garden. The garden is a hugely important part of my home. I actually designed the garden 3.5 years before I moved into the house. My favorite spot is the couch. I'm sitting at the heart of the house, in the center of the city. It's calm, it's peaceful. It's a lovely place to be. Very often people create things and don't enjoy them. And maybe it's the fact that I'm getting old. I feel like that I can actually enjoy what I've helped to create. And I find that lovely.
A Japanese garden, honestly. It's amazing.
I think the use and selection of materials out here and the detail is just quite extraordinary.
I love the fact that it's a traditional building. It's a very familiar form. It's the end of a terrace, and yet it's super, super contemporary. Frameless glass on the windows, big chunky reveals. Like, that's what architecture is.
Shall we go?
Yeah.
Let's.
It's very rare that you'd see a design ethos, which is what we have in the garden here, that actually ends up in the house as well.
It's a beautiful space, isn't it? Beautiful wooden flooring running through. There's a nice feeling in here, isn't there?
It's very sharply detailed. It's very, very crisp. I mean, the windows in particular, corner windows, look at the angle of that, how they've carved out that nook. Everything is just absolutely perfect.
I just love the idea of a real day bed in this location. And what I really think is extraordinary is the tonal color difference between the ceiling and the walls, which is exceptionally subtle. And because of that, this space is warm. If I'd used pure white, it would have been a cold space.
The amazing thing about white is there's 100 versions of white, and you don't actually see them until you put them together.
Yeah, the only thing for me is I actually think there's too much furniture in this space. Like, I think the day bed is amazing. This looks in the way to me, the sofa and the dining room table. You know, I don't think you're ever getting around the corner there. I think, you know, less is more would be better here.
I have no idea what Declan's on about. If there was any less in this house, there'd be nothing.
Oh, I can see why this is their favourite spot. I mean, it's really about enjoying their home, isn't it?
Lovely texture, very simple furniture, beautiful color palette. This person has a real eye for detail, nothing extravagant in terms of color, but I just think very subtle.
And the view. It's quite unique actually to be in the city centre and have a view like that. They've really thought about what they're doing. One big frame, so you're really making the most of that view. I love to see it. Sliding door into the wall. I mean, the architectural detail here is phenomenal.
Window design is something I'm really passionate about, and I have to say the windows here are some of the best I've seen.
I love this white kitchen. It's really bright and airy, very functional as well. They've gone for a really good worktop, and they've gone for a concertina blind on the 2 windows, and they meet perfectly in the middle, so you don't end up with a gap.
I love the fact that it's actually a glass-to-glass joint in the corner, because this is actually quite a small kitchen, so it feels 10 times as big because of that window.
I think there's something special going on here.
Yeah.
We have secret door into a secret world.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful, isn't it? Wow. Oh my goodness.
I didn't expect to see a window on this side of the house looking back into it. Never mind a Japanese walled garden.
With pond.
Yeah.
I just love to be surprised in this competition, and that's exactly what the secret door did.
Beautifully detailed staircase. It's floating off one side. Lovely big bits of glass as well. What a view from the master bedroom.
And the windowsills that they're as low as the bed is, so that when you're in there, you really get to enjoy the view.
Yeah.
I think it's magic.
What I really would like to have seen is a big cushion here, so you can really appreciate that view.
Do you know, I think it's a minimalist approach that they've gone for. I think it's about a few key little objects that they have on the sill, and then it's about that view.
The homeowner has shown real discipline in achieving that minimalist style. It's very calming, it's very restful, and it's because it's not cluttered.
Such a treat to have this great contemporary home in the competition. Their attention to design detail comes through in that great vertical garden, the secret door, and that big windowsill to take in the view. I give this home an 8.
There is a great love for Japanese culture expressed inside and outside. I love the simplicity of this home. You can see that the homeowner has a real appreciation for fine detail. I'm going to give this home a 9.
The approach here through a Zen garden just set the tone for everything else that followed in this home. The actual skin of the building is a beautiful example of how to respectfully design a highly contemporary yet traditional building. And it's the window design in particular that is exceptional here. Simple, calm, and considered. It's just a really well-balanced home.
Now that the judges have viewed all 3 homes, it's time to see how they measure up against each other. First, Deirdre reveals her score for the workshop conversion.
I loved this home. I thought it was very creative. It was a real functional, fun family home. For a kid to grow up in a house like that, it's just amazing. I had to give it a 9.
Yeah, it deserves it.
It's 3 9s, it's 27.
Great start.
Next, Hugh reveals what he gave the extended cottage.
Just amazing to come up to this unassuming cottage and then find this big family home. I loved the extension, but I just thought there wasn't a consistency in a design style right through the home. And for that reason, I gave it a 7.
That's 2 7s and an 8, that's 22. I'm a bit disappointed, I think that deserved more.
And finally, Declan tells us what he gave the renovated end of terrace in Limerick.
This was all about Zen living, really traditional but super contemporary as well. Amazing details. I love the fact that in the utility room they put that feature into a room that's usually just so underloved. And I give it a 9.
That's a high score.
2 9s and an 8, that's 26. It was close, but we have a winner.
So our workshop conversion in Galway has made it through to the final.
They did something very imaginative and very creative and made it a real home. I thought it was just magical.
It's quite breathtaking.
Inspirational is the way I would put it.
Yeah.
And I think it shows a level of the competition this year.
Next week, the search continues for Home of the Year.